Welcome. This is an audiobook-style summary of Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. A practical, inspiring guide to transforming your life through the consistent choice of a positive attitude. Throughout this summary, I'll introduce you to Jeff Keller, explain the background and structure of the book, and then walk you through the core lessons, examples, and exercises so you can hear and apply the ideas immediately. This is written and paced for a voiceover. Listen, breathe, reflect, and pause when a section calls for it. Jeff Keller is an author and motivational speaker who has built a career around helping people transform their results by shifting their attitude. He founded and serves as president of Attitude is Everything Inc., a training and personal development company focused on motivational programs for organizations and individuals. Keller's book, Attitude is Everything, first appeared in the late 1990s and has been published in several editions and printing since. The book has become a staple of personal development libraries and is frequently cited in summaries and self-help reading lists. Various publication records list editions from 1999 and later reprints and releases. Keller wrote from the firm belief that while we cannot always control circumstances, we can always control our attitude. That central insight, that attitude is a choice and the choice has direct real-world consequences, is the engine of the book. He frames his work around practical exercises, short declarative lessons, and consistent repetition. His written and spoken programs focus on what he calls the three-part system: how you think, how you speak, and how you act. These three elements form the spine of the book. Book overview: structure and core promise. Attitude is Everything is structured simply and deliberately. The book is built around three broad movements: think, speak, and act. And within these movements are smaller lessons, short chapters, and practical exercises. The promise of the book is straightforward. By changing the way you think, speak, and act, you can change your life. The lessons are practical, often short enough to be read in minutes, and designed to be applied immediately. Keller's tone throughout is motivational and actionable. He mixes anecdote with crisp rules and concludes each lesson with an exercise or a practical step, something a listener can do right away. That makes the book ideal for someone who wants an energetic, short-form roadmap rather than a long theoretical treatise. Part 1. Think. Success begins in mind. The book begins where it must, with the mind. Keller's first major claim is that your attitude is the window through which you see the world. Change that window, and the view changes. The first section enumerates practical ways to shape your thinking: controlling internal dialogue, building mental movies of success, and reframing setbacks as opportunities. Lesson 1. Attitude is your window to the world. Keller opens by explaining why attitude matters so much. When you approach a day with expectation and possibility, you notice opportunities. When you approach it with negativity, you only see problems. This is not mystical language, it is cognitive. Your brain filters information. If you train it to look for solutions, you will find more of them. Conversely, if you train it to be fearful and defensive, you will miss openings. This is the practical psychology behind the phrase. Your attitude is your window to the world. Narration prompt. Read this paragraph with calm clarity. Then pause and invite the listener to recall one recent situation they interpreted negatively. Encourage them to imagine the same scene look different through a positive lens. Lesson 2. Control your self-talk. Keller stresses the language you say to yourself matters. He provides small, repeatable techniques. Catch negative phrases, I can't, I always, nobody will, and replace them with affirmatives. Practically, the recommendation is to use short, positive statements, not long, heroic speeches, because the brain responds to concise imperatives. You become what you say to yourself repeatedly. Exercise. For 7 days, record 3 moments each day where you say, I can't, or a similar phrase. Replace each with a short positive reframe. Use the set. I can learn. I will try. I will improve. Lesson 3. See yourself succeed. Visualization. Keller advocates visualization not as fantasy but as rehearsal. Imagine the result in vivid detail. The room, a sound, the handshake, the feeling. The more sensory the visualization, the more your brain treats it like rehearsal. Top performers in many fields use this technique because it aligns intention and action. Practical step. Before an important meeting, close your eyes for 2 minutes and visualize the 3 outcomes you want most. Then act as if one of those outcomes is already in motion. Lesson 4. Commit to success. Thinking positively is not wishful. It is commitment. Keller connects attitude to commitment. The decision to act every day even when you're tired or discouraged. The book's stories here are short snapshots of people who outworked their competition simply because they refused to quit. Part 2. Speak. Words create worlds. Voice brightens slightly. After the mind comes the mouth. Keller emphasizes that speaking shapes both inner reality and outer relationships. The words you choose to describe yourself and your future matter, to you and to others. Lesson 5. Watch your words. Words are actions. Keller recommends a disciplined vocabulary of possibility. Swap problem for challenge. Replace I'll try with I will. Keep sentences short, definite, and forward-looking. Exercise. For 1 week, watch your use of but. And when you hear it, substitute and or remove it. I like that, but becomes I like that also. Lesson 6. Stop complaining. Complaining creates a loop. It attracts negative attention and breeds discouragement. Keller suggests a 21-day no-complaining experiment. Force the brain to seek solutions instead. Practical challenge. When tempted to complain, say out loud 1 quick action you can take in the next 24 hours to improve things. Connect complaints to solutions. Lesson 7. Use positive language with others. How you speak to colleagues, friends, and family sets the emotional climate. Keller's practical hacks: give specific praise, ask empowering questions, and avoid gratuitous negativity. In short interactions, the tone of your speech signals intention. Part 3. Act. The law of attraction is the law of action. Thought and speech are powerful only when they lead to action. Keller insists that attitude without action is wishfulness. Act with a positive expectation and take small daily steps toward your goals. Lesson 8. Choose action over excuse. Keller calls excuses the death of dreams. He writes that making progress is mostly about removing the small daily obstacles you use to justify inaction. He lists simple steps: schedule a start time, break big tasks into 15-minute chunks, and celebrate small wins. Exercise. Pick 1 project you've delayed. Commit to 15 minutes today. When the 15 minutes ends, Schedule the next 15. Repeat. Lesson 9. Use enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is described not as fake hype, but as internal energy that colors behavior and signals possibility. Narrator's note: read an example of enthusiasm in action. A small scene where someone chooses to greet a prospect warmly and the conversation opens. Lesson 10. Turn problems into opportunities. Every problem contains a seed of opportunity. Keller provides stories of salespeople and leaders who converted setbacks into new directions by asking 3 questions. What can I learn? What might this lead to? Who could benefit from this? These questions turn passive complaint into creative exploration. Detailed chapter summaries, beginning to end. Now we'll move slowly through the book, chapter by chapter. Each chapter is short. Each lesson is digestible. I'll summarize the key idea, the supporting story or exercise, and the practical takeaways you can use. Chapter 1. Attitude is your window to the world. Main idea: your attitude filters reality. The chapter opens with a simple story illustrating 2 people experiencing the same event differently. Keller uses this to show how attitude determines emotional response and behavior. Takeaway: monitor your filters and deliberately choose an optimistic lens. Chapter 2. Think, choose your thoughts. Main idea: thoughts precede actions. Chapters here present small cognitive practices. Catch negative thinking, use reframing, and practice mental rehearsal. Takeaway: create a short list of 3 positive beliefs about yourself to repeat each morning. Chapter 3. Words. Watch what you say. Main idea: your internal and external language builds a feedback loop. The chapter gives practical scripts for responding to the common question, how are you? E.g., I'm fine and moving forward, versus, oh, tired? Takeaway: prepare a few short, affirmative responses for common conversational traps. Chapter 4. The power of visualization. Main idea: visualization acts like rehearsal for your brain. Keller describes athletes and speakers who use mental movies to prime performance. Takeaway: spend 120 seconds a day visualizing a desired outcome before sleep or upon waking. Chapter 5. Commit, decide, and move. Main idea: commitment short-circuits doubt. The chapter teaches that when you commit, you close the loop between intention and action. Takeaway: make one public commitment this week and track progress. Chapter 6. The No Complaint Challenge. Main idea: complaining trains the brain to notice wrongness. The chapter provides practical rules for a no-complaint experiment. Takeaway: for 7 days, go complaint-free. When tempted, write an action plan to fix the complaint. Chapter 7. Enthusiasm, the practice of energy. Main idea: enthusiasm is contagious and practical. The chapter shows how posture, word choice, and tone boost enthusiasm. Takeaway: practice a 5-second warm-up before meetings, straighten posture, breathe, and smile. Chapter 8. Gratitude, the shortest route to positivity. Main idea: gratitude rewires attention toward abundance. Keller provides a small daily gratitude habit that takes less than 2 minutes. Takeaway: list 3 specific things you're grateful for each evening. Chapter 9. Persistence, small steps over time. Main idea: cumulative action beats occasional brilliance. The chapter encourages micro habits and scheduling regular sessions for important tasks. Takeaway: adopt a 2-week rule. Perform a micro action daily for 2 weeks to build momentum. Chapter 10. Feedback. Learn fast. Main idea: seek feedback early and often. Keller urges readers to ask short, specific questions. What is one thing I could do better? Takeaway: ask for one corrective comment after every major task. Chapter 11. Failure. Reframe and rebound. Main idea: failure is data. The chapter reframes mistakes as experiments. Takeaway: after every setback, write one learning and one next step. Chapter 12. Commitment to continual learning. Main idea: keep growing. Read, ask mentors, and invest time in skill building. Takeaway: pick one book a month and summarize 3 actions you'll take after reading. Each chapter contains exercises, brief stories, and crisp declarations. The book's rhythm is practice, story, repetition. That rhythm is what makes the ideas stick. Let's organize the tools Keller offers. These are the items you can use immediately. Read them aloud, pause, and build them into your daily routine. Tool 1. The 21-Day Attitude. Reset Keller suggests trial periods to rewire habit. Pick one area, complaining, negative self-talk, or passive behavior, and apply a 21-day reset. Daily log, daily small action, and accountability. The combination of repetition and reflection reconditions the brain. Tool 2, the 3-part practice: think, speak, act. Each morning, spend 2 to 3 minutes on the 3 parts: think, visualize, speak, affirm aloud, act, schedule one micro task, repeat. Tool 3, the I can habit. Create a short list of I can statements tailored to your goals. Keep them visible. When doubt arises, read the list. Tool 4, the change the question. Hack replace victim questions. Why does this always happen to me? With empowering questions. What can I do next? Empowering questions produce answers. Tool 5, the gratitude closing end. Each day with one sentence that names one thing you did well and one thing you're grateful for. Keller peppers the book with short stories. Salespeople who changed their closing rate after changing phrasing, managers who improved team morale by using appreciative language, and people who turned career setbacks into new paths. These stories illustrate the causal chain: small internal shifts, different language, new actions, changed results. Example vignette. Read slowly. A salesperson named Maria was losing deals. After practicing a 2-minute visualization of a successful close and rehearsing a set of positive phrases, she began to notice new openings in conversations. She asked one extra question each meeting. That one question led to deeper understanding and 3 closed deals in a month. The change was simple and repeatable. A new filter led to different behavior. The specifics are less important than the mechanism. A tiny change in attitude rewired attention and behavior. At work, use the 3-part routine prior to meetings. Visualize the desired meeting outcome, choose your opening phrases, and plan the first 2 minutes of action. Keep language affirmative and specific. Let's explore this possibility rather than this might not work. In relationships, switch from blame to curiosity. Ask one empowering question per week. Replace "you never" with "I've noticed," and follow with a request for a meeting. Shift the climate of the relationship one conversation at a time. Personal growth build. Tiny habits. Use the micro-action rule. 15 minutes today, 15 tomorrow. Track wins, not failures. Each day, visualize 60 seconds of success on your most important project. Say 3 affirmations aloud, short, present tense. Replace one complaint with an action plan. Ask someone one empowering question. Write one gratitude sentence before bed. But life is hard. Attitude won't change that. Keller agrees, life is hard. His claim is narrower. Attitude doesn't change the fact of hardship, but it changes how you respond and the opportunities you'll see. When you see different options, you act differently and change outcomes. Isn't this just toxic positivity? Keller doesn't advise ignoring legitimate pain. He prescribes constructive positivity, naming the problem, feeling it, and then choosing action. It's a pragmatic optimism that incorporates realism and accountability. How can I practice this if I'm overwhelmed? Start small. 15 minutes, 1 affirmation, 1 visualized target. Incremental repetition builds momentum. Your attitude is your window to the world. Think positively, speak positively, act positively. Problems are opportunities in disguise. Your words create your world. Use these as chapter headers in a voiceover or add them as repeated refrains. Deep dive. 7 practical exercises. Read slowly. No complaint journal, 7 days. For 7 days, record any complaint and write 1 action to resolve it. Replace complaining with planning. Visualization drill, 60 secs x2. Visualize twice daily, once on waking, once before an important event. Include sensory details. Affirmation snapshots. Create 3 6-word affirmations and say them aloud 3 times daily. Micro action blocks. Schedule 15-minute work blocks for priority tasks. Track completion and reward small wins. Language audit. For 1 day, mark every use of negative self-talk and rephrase it. Gratitude. 2-line close. Each evening, write 1 thing you did well and 1 thing you're grateful for. Feedback. Fast. Ask 3 people 1 question. What is 1 thing I could do to improve? Use the responses as data. How Keller measures success. Keller's metric for success is not a single outcome, but consistent improvement in behavior and perspective. He argues that if you can shift your daily pattern, the routine of thoughts, words, and acts, you'll see rising performance and richer relationships. The book's structure is meant to create these habits quickly and repeatably. Criticisms and limits. No single book is a panacea. Critics point out that not all social and structural problems are solvable by attitude alone. Keller's program is individual-centered. It works most directly for personal initiative, sales, relationships, and leadership. It does not replace systemic change. Use the book's practices as tools, not magical fixes. Practical script for a 30-day attitude challenge. Welcome to the 30-day attitude challenge. Each day has a short prompt. Read it aloud each morning and complete the exercise. Day 1, write 3 outcomes you want this month. Visualize them. Day 2, start the no complaint journal. Day 3, say your 3 affirmations aloud. Day 4, record 1 fear and list 1 action to confront it. Day 5, ask for feedback from 1 colleague. Day 6, celebrate a micro win. Day 7, reflect on what changed in week 1, repeat the visualization. Days 8-14, increase micro actions to 2 per day. Days 15 to 21, add a gratitude closing each night. Days 22-30, review feedback and adjust actions. Day 30, summarize 3 ways your attitude created new opportunities. Use the checklist from earlier and repeat your 3 affirmations. This challenge is cumulative. Each step enhances the next. Repeat after me. I choose to think clearly. I choose to speak kindly. I choose to act boldly. My attitude creates my life. Pause, breathe, repeat. Book takeaways, short and memorable. Attitude determines how you perceive and respond. Thoughts, words, and actions form a chain. Change one and the chain changes. Small, repeatable practices, visualization, affirmation, micro actions, compound. Complaining is a habit. Replace it with planning. Enthusiasm, gratitude, and persistence are practical skills you can practice. Sources and factual notes. Jeff Keller is the founder and president of Attitude is Everything, Inc., and his company and speaking work have supported the development and dissemination of the book's ideas. The book Attitude is Everything was first published in editions in the late 1990s and has been reprinted subsequently. Authoritative listings note a 1999 printing. The book is commonly summarized in 3 broad areas: think, speak, and act, a structure used repeatedly by summaries and guides. The book's practical orientation, short chapters and exercises are emphasized in multiple published summaries and publisher notes. Final reflections. Attitude is Everything will not turn your life into a movie overnight. It offers a set of practical, repeatable choices that, when enacted consistently, shift not only your internal state, but the way the world responds to you. The power of the book is its simplicity, small daily acts, a minute of visualization, a change in phrasing, a 15-minute block of focused work, compound into real results. If you take one thing from this summary, let it be this: attitude is not an ethereal trait reserved for a fortunate few. Attitude is a habit you can practice. Start small. Start today. Act with intention. Speak with purpose. Think with possibility. Complete audiobook-style summary of Jeff Keller's Attitude is Everything. Learn the 3 simple steps: think, speak, act, plus practical exercises, a 30-day challenge, and concise takeaways to help you change your life through daily attitude practice. Thank you for listening. Use one practice from this summary today. A single small change repeated becomes the difference between another year of the same and a new story. Choose your attitude. Change your life.